to today's episode of In the Kitchen with Weasel. I'm Weasel and we're here in a brand new kitchen tonight, and tonight's something very special. We're making a breakfast classic, okay? We are going to be making flapjacks. Now most of you are familiar with pancakes or hot cakes and you like that triple stack of pancakes. Well, let me tell you what a flapjack is. A flapjack is a pancake the size of your griddle. It'll fill you up, and you won't need that triple stack. It's still nice, thick, and fluffy, and you just dump some syrup on it and you're good to go. So we're going to take all the basic ingredients here, and of course you got to have eggs, some butter, some sugar, and we're going to get this mixing. And I personally enjoy using the whisk on this, and tonight we're going to make a large batch of these. You will use a lot more batter than you will for normal pancakes, but when you get that taste, it's worth it. So we get this all mixed up. Once you get this mixed up, you always got to wash your hands after you mess with eggs. So let's wash our hands real good. And anytime you're making a quick bread, you always start with your basic ingredients first, and then you move on to your dry ingredients. So next we're going to add a little baking mixture there. You see it dumped out there. And a little bit of flour. And it's not complete until you add your buttermilk. Alright, there we go. So now we're going to mix this. One thing you absolutely do not want to do is overmix your batter. If you overmix your batter, then you're going to have one flat flapjack. And if you don't get flour all over the place, you're not mixing it right. So I'm going to mix this up. We're going to take a quick break, and stay tuned for some more In the Kitchen with Weasel. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Weasel. We're here making some flapjacks. Take a look, we got this all mixed up. Like I said, you don't want to over mix it. You see these lumps here? They're not lumps, they're air bubbles. You don't want to get too many air bubbles out, or you're going to have a flat flapjack. So we got our nice little griddle. Don't use an electric griddle, they're no good. Okay? The only thing you need this for is to pick up on the edges a little bit. I'll show you what we're going to do. Alright, now I need something to drop this in with. We'll wing it. Alright, and here we go. We're going to pour some batter on there. When it's this big and this thick, sometimes you got to stretch it out there a little bit. And here we are, we're going to let this go. We got it, we're cooking over about medium. And what you're going to do, you're going to wait for these bubbles to start to pop. Once those bubbles start to pop, then it's flip time. We're going to start flipping. So hang tight, we'll be right back in the kitchen with Weasel. Alright, we're back here in the kitchen with Weasel, taking a look at this flapjack. You see the bubbles are starting to pop, and it's starting to turn to a solid So what you're going to do, you're going to lift this up and you're going to kind of tuck it around the corners just to make sure it's not sticking. If it's sticking, it's not going to flip right. And you do not want to butter up your pan because it's going to cause your flapjack to burn a lot more than it should. Alright, so if we see there, I can actually, they say that the first flapjack is the one that is the experiment because you got to get your temperature right. And this one is not wanting to move. It's sticking quite a bit. Okay, we got it moving a little bit there. See that there? This is how you do a flip. Okay? Flapjacks are too big to flip it with one of these puppies. It's just going to break. So what you got to do, you got to go back and forth like that. To flip it like that. And let's get this back onto the tray. If you want a good flapjack, you take some butter. When you flip it, you get it over like that, and you just start spreading that butter out on there. You can never have too much butter, and I can just smell that burning. That was great. And that is why you do not watch other cooking shows, because you miss out on free entertainment like that right there. Okay. Okay, so see those little crusties right there? That's the kind of stuff you can pick up, blow on, and check the you check the flavor. That's good. Okay. Now you're gonna have to check the other side. So you flip it back over like that. You see that there? And then to flip it into the plate, you got to get it back on this side so that it looks presentable. So you flip it up like that and you catch it like that. You got a flapjack ready to go. Just kind of got to tuck it in the side a little bit. Alright, now again, don't put butter on it. And we're going to pour a little more batter. I'm going to turn this temperature down a little bit. Alright, there we go. And we got our next flapjack in there, ready to go. We'll be right back in the kitchen with Weasel. Take a look at this mess. Alright, we're back here in the kitchen with Weasel, working on our second flapjack here. It's just about done. It's a little too hot, so I just turned it down a little bit more. If you see, it's still moving a little bit. So I'm actually taking it off the grill. It is still cooking, and we're losing a little bit over the side there. But that's alright. So we're just going to watch this for just a few more seconds until it's just about ready. And if you see here, come in, Ted. Take a look at that color. You see that color in there? That's beautiful, but it's starting to turn a little brown. A little too brown. Okay, so we got to make sure that is staying down. Here we go. Okay. We're going for it. Oh, again, it gets us. It gets the better part of it. See, this is a brand new experience because I've never cooked on this stove before. So, but that's the joy of cooking somewhere else. You have no idea what's going to happen, just like you have no idea what's going to happen on this show. So, we're just going to keep slapping butter on there until it's soft. And that's kind of how you do it. Okay, come in. You can actually see how soft that's getting. Even though it was burnt, we're saving it, buddy. We're saving it. And you know what? You don't need that spoonful of butter on there anymore. You just put the syrup on there because there's plenty of butter on here in the first place. So that's how you take care of that. Alrighty. Drop that over there. And we need to rotate this just a little bit. Yeah, let's check under there. It still needs to cook a little bit. So let's let that cook. The next one, we're going to throw some chocolate chips in there. So stay tuned. We're going to be back to flip this here in just a minute. Alright, here we are. We got our second flapjack. We're ready to flip it. Let's check that other side. Make sure it's good. Look at that. That's a good color right there for a flapjack. And everybody wants these picture perfect flapjacks. This is what a real flapjack looks like. See all those different colors and different motions and all that. You can almost paint a picture. And there we go. Flapjack number 2. Done. Let's add some more batter. And for this one, we're going to do some chocolate chip flapjacks. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There we go. We got that. And we're going to give that a good little shake right there. And we're just going to sprinkle these in. And who knows, for fun, let's just see what happens. Just throw them in there, BAM! I probably can't do that, it's probably copywritten or something. Alright, I just dropped a, here we are, we got chocolate chip flapjack on the griddle. And again, it doesn't have to be a perfect shape. If you look at this, looks like there's a big section cut out on it. Who cares? It goes down your gullet. That's it. End of story. We'll be right back in the kitchen with Weasel. Alright, here's our chocolate chip pancake. And it is ready to be flipped. So we're going to get this moving. Woo! 3 for 3. Pretty good odds on dumping that. And we got that all dressed up. And now that's had time to kind of cook a little bit. So now we're going to go in there and we're going to get it right a little bit. There we go. See that? We're back on it. Back on it. Nice. See, it looks burnt. It's nice and soft. It's just crispy. We got some butter on there. Good to go. That tastes like gold. And that, let's focus on the flapjack. We'll be right back in the kitchen with Weasel. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Weasel. Right behind the plate. Here we are. We got our chocolate chip flapjack ready to go. And let's check the other side. Look at that. That is beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. And now we're going to flip this one onto a plate. Just like that there. Woo, that's a little hot. Got a little chocolate chip on me. And we're back in business. Woo. And let's wash that off. And we have at least one more in here. Let's see. We may have just a little too much batter for one flapjack. You know what? Might be perfect. Let's try it out. Let's go ahead. Let's just empty it all in there. See what happens.
Why don't you just pour it on the floor? Save yourself some time.
Alright, there we go. And this is our last one. We're going to let this sit and simmer and cook. We'll be right back here at In the Kitchen with Weasel. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Weasel. This is our last flapjack of the night. And I think this is the best one so far. And this one is ready to flip. Let's see if we can't make this one the first one to not spill all over this floor tonight. So let's get her going. Oh, look at that! It still had a little crumb fall, but there we go. That's that. And once again, we're just gonna throw some butter on here. Don't be shy. Just throw it on. And that's gonna soften up real nicely. That's going. We'll leave that butter right there. And let's grab one last plate. This puppy's gonna be ready to flip here soon. And we're just a little bit too early for a midnight snack, but I think it still qualifies as the same thing. So there we go. Alright, that last little thing of butter's melted there. Spread that out. See, that's gotten really soft now. That's good. That's good. That's going to be one tasty flapjack. And let's go ahead, let's can't even say it. Alrighty. And take a look at that color. That is perfect, beautiful. You see that natural crease that happens? That's from the flip. That's where it landed, and it was kind of hanging out there. But you see it's still cooked a little bit. So here we go. We're going to flip this right on in. And there we go. Let me set this down. That's our last flapjack here in the kitchen with Weasel. Thanks for staying tuned. We'll see you at our next episode, whenever it happens, in the kitchen with Weasel. Have a good night.